guys, the Amplified Man. This is TLC 2018. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, you guys know the rules for good, the bad, and the ugly. They're very simple. Number one, every match gets a tally. Simple as that. We only do the main show, not the pre-show, guys. So only the main show. In this particular pay-per-view, there was 10 main show matches. Every match gets a tally. Rule number two, when we're finished at the end of this video and we tally everything up to see if this pay-per-view was good, bad, or ugly, every single ugly counts as two bads. So you want to stay away from uglies in this whole video, because at the end when we tally this motherfucker, those uglies will turn into two bads. And that could seriously outweigh the outcome of this event. Number three, pre-show is how we determine a tiebreaker. So if at the end of this video there are 5 goods and 5 bads, for instance, well, the tiebreaker will then go to the pre-show, and only then will pre-show matches count. Those are the rules. Now we find out if this pay-per-view was good, bad, or fucking ugly. And we're going to do things differently in this video, guys. We are actually going to start our way from the back to the front, from the finish to the start, from the end to the beginning. That's right, we're going to actually start off. First time we've ever done this on the good, the bad, and the ugly. We're going to start from the main event and work our way to the front of the card. Because how can we not start this video out by talking about that amazing triple threat TLC match for the SmackDown Women's Championship? Asuka the challenger, Charlotte the challenger, and the champion Becky Lynch. I told you guys a while back, a few weeks ago, when Asuka was first announced for this match, I told you guys exactly what that was for. Asuka was added to this match as a safety net. Because Vince, WWE, rightfully so, didn't know how badass Becky Lynch was going to be in this match. They didn't know at that time if Becky Lynch was even going to compete. Not only did she not at that time pass her concussion protocol, but she was not even cleared for the ring in any capacity. So Asuka was added in as a safety net. That's obvious. That's not just the Amplified Man coming to his own conclusion. That's me just being smart about what the fuck's going on. Luckily, thankfully, most of this community saw what was happening. Vince McMahon just didn't wake up one morning and go, you know what? I think Asuka should be champion. I don't know why we're fucking around with Becky Lynch and Charlotte. No. Becky Lynch's injury forced Vince McMahon to put somebody else in this match. Who better than Asuka? So that's the truth. And I told you guys, probably that same video, but in several videos, that the only way Asuka walks out as champion is if Vince McMahon decides to do a horsewomen versus horsewomen storyline. WWE horsewomen and Ronda Rousey and her horsewomen with Shayna Baszler. That's the only way Asuka's walking out with the championship. Otherwise, she's just the safety net. Sure enough, the Amplified Man was right again. Of course she was the safety net, we all know that, but Vince McMahon decided to go with the horsewomen storyline. He actually turned Ronda Rousey, and yes, that's going to be one of those mid-turns, midway. She's kind of half and half, because that's what we do these days. There's no full-throttle heel turns, right? Dean Ambrose, maybe a few others, but for the most part, especially for the women, you're kind of halfway. We saw it with Becky Lynch, we saw it with Charlotte, and now it looks like we're going to see it with Ronda. Ronda will still take all the cheers, but if you boo her, now she has an out. Now she could say it's because I did the dastardly deed. You guys didn't turn on me. I turned on you. So now she has her own safety net. So I love how they played that with Ronda Rousey. Why not? If it worked with Becky, if it worked with Charlotte, Vince is hoping it works with Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey comes out, costs Charlotte and Becky Lynch that match last night. And we have the beginnings to our horsewomen versus horsewomen storyline. Thank you very much. The Amplified Man, right again. Thank you. But I don't need your fucking accolades. We got some clowns on YouTube here and on social media trying to say I was wrong because I said Asuka wasn't walking out as champion. They didn't open their ears. They heard what they wanted to hear. They didn't listen to the whole fucking video. Instead of giving me my fucking daps and my dues, They want to say I was wrong. Was I, though? Listen carefully. And I said she walks out with that strap if Vince McMahon wants to go horsewomen, horsewomen. The details are in the fucking video. The details will always be spit by the amplified man. I drop nothing but facts and truth, trust me. Was she there as a safety net? Yes. Did she walk out as a strap holder because Vince wants horsewomen, horsewomen in the future in a WrestleMania match that surrounds in the epitome is horsewomen versus horsewomen? Absolutely, that's the fucking case. So I had a fun time blocking motherfuckers last night, not because of any disagreement or difference in opinion, just because people were stupid as fuck. And a few people, before I had the pleasure of blocking them son of a bitches, I let them have it a little bit, right? I broke character and I fucked around with them a little bit, but then I fucking blocked their asses because there's no way you're calling the amplified man out when he's fucking right. Open your ears, listen to the full fucking videos, and you'll get the facts way before the event even takes place. That's the benefit you have when you're subscribed to the amplified channel. All in all, this is fucking... Before we even discuss this any fucking further, it is fucking clear, if I get my fucking board back, this, what the fuck happened to my good? Get back there, motherfucker. This match, this main event, is clearly going into the good column. We already got a fucking tally in the good, and there's no fucking reason why that wouldn't go in there. Was it ugly? Fuck no. Was it bad? Fuck no. Can you count a plethora of botches? Fuck no. This match delivered on all fucking fronts, guys. This was physical as fuck. This told a story, and that's hard to do when you're in a match full of chaos, because that's what TLC is. Tables, ladders, chairs, kendo sticks, and anything else they could get their fucking hands on. Chaos doesn't always produce the best matches, but with these ladies, everything just seems so well thought out. Everything was delivered properly and epically. The expressions, the mannerisms, the selling, everything was fucking beautiful and on point. Right up until Ronda Rousey comes in at the end. Would I have loved to have seen a clean finish here? Absolutely. Would it have been awesome to see Becky Lynch have that defining moment in this title run? Absolutely. She hasn't had a defining moment. Her Evolution match really good, then she gets busted open, she's gone for over a month, she comes back in her first title defense back, she's dropping the strap. It would have been cool to see Becky Lynch hold that title up on that ladder. What a moment for her. But Vince has other plans. Royal Rumble... Either Becky Lynch or Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair will somehow come out of the Rumble as number one contenders. Maybe they both pick Ronda Rousey. Maybe Rousey and Shayna Baszler start this thing at the Rumble. Maybe there's a horsewomen at WrestleMania. But either way, the seeds were planted. But when you look at Becky Lynch flying from the ladder on the outside into and through Charlotte Flair on the table outside, and Charlotte Flair screaming in agony. The referee kept having to check up on Charlotte Flair. Looked like her stomach, sternum area just fucking imploded. Charlotte Flair and her moonsaults and her senton bombs. Asuka getting literally a spear heard round the world. Charlotte Flair with a spear into Asuka through the barricade. Kendo stick shots for the ages. Some of the men I haven't seen take kendo stick shots like that. I could keep going on and praising this match, but this would be a 2-hour video, so we're just gonna keep it at one fucking good. And these are the type of moments where people go, BC, you need a great option. You have the good, you have the bad, you have the ugly. You need a great, just in case WWE comes out with a great match. Don't hold your breath on it, but just in case. And I never put a great option in because it's WWE, and in recent years, they haven't given me any fucking inkling that I should put a great column in here. But after last night, I'm seriously thinking about it, guys. But as of right now, we're going to stay just good, bad, and ugly. But what a fucking great match. And if there was a great column, it would be there. I stand firm in my belief that Daniel Bryan AJ Styles, a pure classic wrestling match, should have probably main evented. But I'm damn glad and proud of these ladies and what we got last night. And if that's our main event last night, I am fully fucking happy with that. That was a WrestleMania-worthy main event. I just think that a pay-per-view like TLC with a lot of chaos and stipulation matches, a classic pure wrestling match, would always be a cool main event. But we'll talk Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles in a second. But again, my final comments on this main event, that was awesome. That deserves that chant. That was epic. These ladies put it all on the line. I could not be more fucking proud of them. They kicked ass. Every one of them walked out with even more of my respect than they already had. And we already know the respect I have for Becky Lynch, the respect I have for Charlotte Flair, and the respect I have for Asuka. And by the way, congratulations, Asuka. She's kind of lost in the mix here. She wins the championship. It's a big moment for her. But let's be honest. All of our eyes are on Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. And what is Vince McMahon gonna do with Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair? Do we get a one-on-one match? Do we get a two-on-one fucking match? A triple threat match, basically. I call it two-on-one, but you know, Charlotte and Becky will at first, the first half of the match, beat the fuck out of Ronda Rousey. Then settle their differences if it's a triple threat. That's what I mean, though. We had the best of Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey at Survivor Series. Now you're going to get a triple threat, I believe. I don't know if Vince will actually do a one-on-one match at WrestleMania. And I would not be surprised if at Mania you're seeing horsewomen versus horsewomen. There's so many different ways Vince can go about this, but I love the way the seeds are planted, and I love the fact that Asuka walked out with the championship. I honestly, firmly know, not just believe, she was brought into this match at first as a safety net, and here she is walking out as champion. And that goes to show you, if you could just get your foot in the door, Vince will fucking think of different ways. He'll change his mind 24 times in a 24-hour day. You could find your way walking out of an event with the strap, man. You just got to get your foot in the door. Get noticed, man. Just a few weeks ago, Asuka was in a tag team with Naomi, and they were about to go for tag team championships in 2019, just like Sasha Banks and Bayley. She found her way as a safety net, and she walked out as champion. I fucking love that. Great job for fucking Asuka. I can't wait to see how she is as a champion. I know she'll kick ass if Vince lets her. And I can't wait to see what happens with Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and Ronda Rousey from here, man. We'll find out Ronda Rousey's reaction tonight. But now, if Ronda gets the boos, Vince is okay with it. Because now she's a 50-50er. Man, you know, I miss the days of just straight heels and straight faces. But, man, these women are fucking rocking it. And I made a video just a few days ago, maybe, right? Maybe it was a week ago. But it was about the women in WrestleMania, in the women main eventing a lot more pay-per-views in 2019, and how in 2018 they didn't really bring in the numbers universally, and the ratings were dipping and this and that, and while they can't be totally to blame, they were the ones main eventing a lot of those shows. They were the ones getting the spotlight, and that video had a lot to do with, can the women sustain our attention and captivate us in 2019, and pull in ratings and numbers and attendance at live events? Well, if they put on shit like that, the answer is yes. Sorry, not sorry. What the fuck am I talking about? That I went a little extra longer on that main event, but it deserves my words and so much more. Again, guys, that is in the good column. There is no exceptions there. Moving on. Working our way from the fucking back to the front of this card. So we're already in one good in the first match here. That was the main event. Now we go on to a match that befuddles me, not for the action inside the ring, but for the fucking crowd shitting on this match. And that is Dean Ambrose, the challenger, taking on Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins. This match, guys, befuddles me. This was a good fucking match. This is the epitome of the newer, younger fan, right? They just want faster pace. They want shit that captivates them non-stop. That's why they love flips and dives and cruiserweights and this and that. That was an old school classic wrestling match, much like AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan, which again, I'll get to in a few minutes. I don't know what you were looking for. They told their story beautifully. There was a lot of physicality. There was a lot of brawling in that match. There was wrestling, there was storytelling, there was psychology, methodic play. Loved it all, man. Aerial assault, ground game, everything was used in this match to get this story over, and it was universally shit on in San Jose. And then, of course, the fucking sheep on social media. Oh, yeah, this match does suck. This match is fucking horrible. Actually, the match was fucking really good. You're just used to some fucking different shit today. I guess we have to kind of adjust. The old school fan has to kind of meet the new school fan in the middle, I guess. So, if that was honestly your opinion, I can't change your mind, and nor do I want to, man. I'm just telling you guys, back in the day, those were the matches we used to get. And we were fine with those matches. It's called old school wrestling. San Jose, I don't know what the fuck you were smoking during that match, but the Amplified Man wasn't smoking that shit. This goes into the good section, guys. Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose goes right into the good. 2 matches into this motherfucker, and we got 2 in the good. Because Rollins and Ambrose delivered. I love the storytelling in this motherfucker. You ain't gonna tell me anything in this match was ugly. You ain't gonna tell me anything in this match was bad. You're only gonna tell me this match was fucking good, because that's what I saw with my own 2 fucking eyes and heard with my fucking ears. The call on that with Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and Renee Young was on point. A few times it was cringeworthy how Corey Graves kept wanting to pull information out of Renee Young. At one point, Renee and Michael Cole had to jump on Corey Graves to shut his fucking mouth. But for the most part, I like the storytelling even on commentary. So at home, this match did exactly what it was supposed to do. Were you guys upset that it went too long, maybe? Who knows? But I know a lot of fans weren't happy with this feud leading into this match. You didn't like germaphobe Dean Ambrose. You didn't like the storytelling before the match in the previous weeks on Raw. So maybe this is just a continuation of you guys shitting on the entire feud. That's fine. I totally agree with you. With the storyline leading up, it could have been and should have been a million times more epic. But Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, we knew was going to deliver in the ring, and I could see if they didn't deliver and you guys shitted on it. But they went out there and they did deliver. And you guys still just shitted on this motherfucker. It befuddles me. But you know what? I'm not going to spend any more time on the negative on this because there was none aside from that shitty San Jose response that they gave this match. This match was fucking good, as I said. We have a new Intercontinental Champion. His name is Dean Ambrose. I love the way this was done. He's on his ass. He's begging for Seth Rollins not to throw any more bows at him. He's had enough. He gets up. He gives him the fist, the old shield fist. And Seth Rollins is looking at his. And the crowd at this point is shitting on this. And I'm like, this is epic storytelling, man. This is storytelling 101. Your brotherhood. You have one last chance to save this thing. Or do you even trust Dean Ambrose? Or are you so frustrated you just want to put your fist in his fucking throat? And you know what? Seth Rollins says that's exactly what I want to do. He clenches his fist, and instead of giving the shield dap, he goes to fucking level Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose is able to fucking play possum and give him the dirty deeds out of nowhere. And Dirty Deeds was enough, I should say, to pin Seth Rollins 1, 2, 3. The match was good. The ending was good. The story, I loved it all. 2 matches in a row, starting from back to the front of this card anyway. The main event and the match before that main event, Rollins and Ambrose fucking delivered. San Jose, man, I don't know, man. Take some Advil, do something, man. But that hangover must be severe today, because I don't know what the fuck you guys were on last night during that match. Or maybe you got spoiled by AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan. Maybe that was it. But either way, that was a fucking pathetic response by that crowd, because that was a damn good match that did not deserve that type of response. But again, I'm an old school wrestling fan. I love that type of old school classic match. Which is why we lead on into the next match. The third match before the fucking main event. Does that make any fucking sense? So, the third match from the back of this card anyway. AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan. Styles the challenger, Daniel Bryan the champion. Let me tell you a little story about this match. This match was even better than Ambrose and Rollins. And when you're talking about a pure wrestling match, no fucking tables, ladders, chairs, no stipulations, no fucking schmozzery, no bells and whistles. That was the match of the night. Styles and Daniel Bryan. If you include the bells and the whistles and the stipulations and the tables, ladders, and chairs, then no doubt, Becky Lynch, Asuka, Charlotte Flair. But if you're talking pure wrestling with no stipulation crutches to lean on, AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan, they fucking went above and beyond delivering. Loved the storytelling. It was such a psychological fucking thriller that it brought me back to the old school pro wrestling days. It was like I was watching Jake the Snake Roberts in there. The storytelling was on point. The psychology was on point. The way they were manipulating each other. What I love best, and this is what I love about Jake Roberts from old school, and Randy Orton, even though Orton's character has gotten stale over the years, they're so methodical. When you can mix the psychological part of pro wrestling in with the methodical part, you have the makings, the ingredients to one hell of a classic wrestling match. Those are the ingredients to make one hell of a fucking finished dish, because the recipe is right there sitting in your lap. The psychology, the storytelling, the way that you're methodical, the mannerisms, all of this, guys, they may seem like small details, but they help tell the whole part of the story you're trying to tell. It ain't just a chapter or two of the book. They're telling you the whole book, and they have 25 minutes to a half an hour to do such. And they did it beautifully. When you're talking about a pure wrestling match, that was the match of the night. There is no fucking way that does not go into the good column, and now we have 3 goods. So the tail end of this pay-per-view was all fucking good. Even great. For the Amplified, man, I had an awesome old school classic professional wrestling match between Styles and Bryan, which led into another classic wrestling match with Ambrose and Rollins, and then I got to see that triple threat TLC women's match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. What a hell of an ending to this pay-per-view, those last 3 matches. And by the way, Daniel Bryan, the king of the small package, as he calls himself, he pokes some fun at himself on social media. He did a last-second roll-up to AJ Styles. Daniel Bryan won the match and kept his championship. I do wish the ending was a little bit more creative, but the king of the small package struck, and at least we got one hell of a fucking classic, old school professional wrestling match. And you ain't gonna get no hating on that, man. So the last 3 matches of this event were all fucking good. So now we move on more to the middle of the card. Could the middle of the card sustain itself to get us to the end of the card? That's a whole nother story. If we're talking, was it as exciting as the last 3 matches of the card? The middle 3 matches? Definitely not. But when you're talking about that 4th match, Ronda Rousey, the champion of Monday Night Raw for the females, taking on challenger Nia Jax, you're talking about a good fucking match. Carried. Jax was carried by Ronda Rousey. Hopefully this shuts up the Ronda Rousey detractors and haters. Finally, once and for all. There's still people out there that just trash this girl every time she goes out there and kicks ass. And there's always some fucking reasoning they have. Oh, Charlotte carried this match. This person carried the match. No, motherfucker. This time, Ronda Rousey carried it. And you might say, well, BC, that's not hard. It was Nia Jax. She sucks, right? No, that's even harder sometimes to carry somebody that fucking sucks for at least 10 fucking minutes. You gotta carry this motherfucker. And that match went over 10 fucking minutes. Give Ronda Rousey some fucking daps. Where were the botches? Where was this, that, and the other thing that you guys like to call her out on? Oh yeah, there was none. Another pay-per-view, big-time, big fight field match that Ronda Rousey delivered. This time, she took it to the air, man. Every time she got to the top rope, I'm like, she's not really gonna dive, is she? No, motherfucker's gonna dive. From the fucking top of that post onto the outside with a flying fucking crossbody. Beautifully done. How about those fucking step-up knees and step-up Superman punches she was doing? It was a physical match, obviously. I will give Nia Jax her fucking due, alright? As much as we trash Nia Jax for being careless, reckless, she should go back to training, this, that, and the other thing. The bottom line is Nia Jax pulled some fucking weight last night. No pun intended. She literally held her own in there. For the best that Nia Jax can do, Nia Jax did it last night. I am in no way going to trash her today, guys. I know you guys thought I was going to. No, not going to happen. Because the match ended up being pretty fucking good for a mid-card match. When you have a championship on the line, this thing is placed right in the middle of the event. I think it far exceeded what we thought it was going to do. I would have loved to see Rousey go in there in 6 seconds and totally take out Jax, but that wouldn't really do anything for the progression of Jax. I understand that. The ending of this match was beautifully done. Nia Jax catches Ronda Rousey in a crossbody, turns it into a Samoan drop. Rousey is able to kick out of that. And Tamina Snuka, despite did Snuka get fucked up? I think Ronda Rousey may have fucked up Snuka as well. But either way, this ended with Ronda Rousey tapping the fuck out of Nia Jax. I loved it. This is the only way this could have went, guys. There was no way Nia Jax could have walked out with that strap. What does that do with Jax from here? I have no idea, and I don't give a fuck. Ronda Rousey getting this, that is a fucking good, guys. That was just placed into the good column. That is 4 goods. What's going on with that first one? That looks like a fucking 1. Even though it was the first fucking good, but 4 goods, guys. 4 matches into this motherfucker. Great job again by Ronda Rousey. Her heel turn-ish, 50-50-ish kinda, at the end of the night was fucking beautifully done. So a big night for Ronda Rousey. What was also good, guys, was it after the match? I think it was after the match. Nia Jax was being interviewed. She was holding her arm. She was just tapped out, obviously. She's in pain, and they tried to get a word with Nia Jax. Becky Lynch steps right up to Nia Jax. Maybe it wasn't even an interview. Maybe the camera was just on Jax. Becky Lynch steps up, and Becky Lynch takes out Nia Jax backstage. A real quick shot. I forgot what she did. Maybe it was a kick or a fucking punch, but Becky Lynch took Nia Jax out, throws her into the fucking wall area. Nia Jax is down on her ass, and Becky Lynch said, that's what happens when the man goes around collecting her fucking debts or whatever. And Becky Lynch looks right at Nia Jax and says, keep my name out your mouth. Love that fucking... That's my line here in New York, man. Keep my name out your fucking mouth. Because you will get fucking exposed, man. I love that shit. Becky Lynch exposed Nia Jax. Keep my name out of your fucking mouth. Becky Lynch walks off like the man, as she calls herself, and Nia Jax is down and out. Tamina Snuka has to run over to her. What happened? And Nia Jax is like, fucking bitch. So we're not totally done with Becky Lynch and Nia Jax. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, to be honest with you. I'm sure Becky Lynch wants nothing more to do with Nia. Or maybe we are done with that. Maybe that was the finish of this whole saga. We can all move on from it. Maybe Vince doesn't want that type of heat on Nia anymore. Becky got her punch back or her kick. Maybe that's what it was. But that was really good last night in that backstage segment. But moving on to some more mid-card matches, guys. Before Nia Jax and Ronda Rousey, which again went into the good column. Great job by Ronda Rousey. Before that match, we had a chairs match. This was Randy Orton taking on Rey Mysterio. I felt like I was back in 2002. I felt like this was a match that we didn't really need today. If you're bringing back Rey Mysterio, he's older now, he's injury prone. I'm not saying he's got to be a jobber and just eat L's, but let him try to enhance younger talent. No, he's in there with Randy Orton, who's barely and sporadically fucking used. Why was this match on the card? I have no fucking idea. It did not deliver for me. They used the chairs in creative ways, but they're not going to get better fucking brownie points from me for that. I felt you needed a lot more from this match. I don't know what this match was about. The ending was just a roll-up by Rey Mysterio, creatively, but it was just a roll-up, and Mysterio gets a pin over Orton. This match did nothing, guys. I'm torn here. It wasn't necessarily bad, so I can't put it in the bad. It definitely wasn't ugly. But how can I put this in the fucking good? What good came out of it? So for the first time ever, this is just a spur-of-the-moment thing I'm doing right now. This has never been done on The Good, Bad, and the Ugly. I am not tallying a fucking match. I am breaking the fucking number one rule. Every match gets a tally. Well, guess what? Breaking fucking shit. Not anymore. That is gone. Every match, I can break my own fucking rules here. This does not get a tally, guys. Rule number 1 has been broken. I hope I never have to break that rule again. Because every match should get a tally, but there's no way I can fucking tally that shit. That gave me nothing. So, in the 10 main card matches that we're going to tally, there's only going to be fucking 9 tallies when this is said and done. So it looks like there will not be a tiebreaker. We will not have to go to the pre-show. I'm ruining my fucking board over here, man. This thing has been done 20 times already. This thing is going to look like it's been through a TLC match by the time we're done. But after 5 matches, we have 4 in the good, and 1 match wasn't even tallied. Because I can't put it in the ugly, bad, or good. It did nothing for me. It drove no emotion out of me. I wouldn't even want to see that on fucking a SmackDown show. I wouldn't even want to show up to a live event and see that in a dark match. I know I'm being harsh, but it's the Amplified Man. What do you expect? I'm going to give it to you straight up. How I'm feeling. My emotions. Right? Isn't that what we like to do in today's society? Talk about our feelings and our emotions. Let's go over a 6th match here, guys. This was another part of the mid-card, and this was Finn Balor versus Drew McIntyre. And this match made me want to put my head through a fucking cement wall. This was absolute bullshit, and before I even talk about it, this is going straight into the fucking ugly. Boom. Circle that bitch. And ugly. Why, BC? It wasn't that bad of a match. No, it really wasn't. It wasn't. Number 1, didn't need to see it. That's a Monday Night Raw match I've already seen before. So that's just a redundant Raw match. That was one of the redundant Raw match I was talking about in the pre-show video that I put out yesterday. So A, whether it's a good match or not, didn't need to see it, but I would give them the benefit of the doubt. You guys know I give props, so I would have put that in the good column if it was just a good match. Didn't even need a spectacular finish. But because it was a match I didn't need to see, and it was just an okay match, the finish needed to see Drew McIntyre get some momentum finally. All that was out there facing Drew McIntyre was pop collar smiley Finn. That's all you got. Last night, all you got was fucking pop collar, Finn Balor. What the fuck is so special about him? Let me tell you. Nothing. Eat a fucking donut, dipshit. And stop smiling all the time. You and Ronda Rousey can go to the same class together. Go to NXT and have one of Triple H's classes. The stop fucking smiling class. SFS class. Stop fucking smiling. So you have pop, collar, smiley, Finn Balor versus McIntyre. There's no reason pop, collar, smiley, Finn Balor should be defeating Drew McIntyre. If it's the Demon, that's a whole nother character. Now we can talk business. The Demon is a superstar. The Demon is a fucking former Universal Champion. Finn Balor is no more, if more, it's barely more than a fucking cruiserweight division superstar. That's the fucking truth. He can put on damn good matches, Demon Balor or pop collar smiley Finn Balor. No doubt he's a good wrestler. And he's put on good matches, there's no question. But the Demon is a separate fucking character. I don't care if they got the same maneuvers or not. Yeah, it's the same fucking person, motherfucker, but a different character. But pop collar smiley Finn beating Drew McIntyre, who is a dynamite character. Drew McIntyre is the total package. When you think of a prototype for pro wrestler, Drew McIntyre is one of them. Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, it's a short list. And you're gonna treat him like a clown in a joke. And a little minor interference by Dolph Ziggler is what's gonna make Drew McIntyre get pinned 1, 2, 3 by pop collar smiley guy. Come on, bro. That's in the ugly section because how they're doing the D dirty to Drew McIntyre. That's epic bullshit. That's not even gonna go to the bad. That skips the bad and that goes into the fucking ugly. I don't even want to talk about it anymore because it's just fucking frustrating beyond belief. And it's in the ugly too, guys. Another reason, because why the fuck did we not see the Demon to end out 2018? We saw the Demon in 2018 one time. And that was at SummerSlam, and that was impromptu because Vince didn't feel that his card was dynamite enough. So he went ahead with a surprise Demon appearance. Come on, bro. The Demon couldn't make one last shock fucking entrance, one last shock appearance, especially if you're gonna have Finn win. And Finn knows in the back of his mind that he has maybe Lashley and maybe Corbin to deal with. Just let him come out as the Demon. If the deck is stacked against him, or at least he thinks it is, the Demon would have been a realistic approach here. Pop Collar, Smiley taking out Drew McIntyre. How are you gonna make fans forget about this shit? Don't try to tell me BC, Drew will be fine, he's got time, and there's big things to come. Yeah, maybe you're right, hopefully you're right. But fans like me who don't forget shit, who actually have a fucking brain in their dome piece, we don't forget this type of shit. And it lowers their stock. It's epic bullshit. Again, after 6 matches, 1 match wasn't even tallied, that stupid chairs match, 4 went in the good, and 1 went in the fucking ugly column. Again, when we're done tallying this, that counts as 2 bads. So maybe this thing can still end in a fucking tie, right? If this counts as 2 bads, that would make up for the 1 we didn't tally in Randy Orton and Rey Mysterio. Hopefully you guys are keeping up. Let's go to the front of the card now. We already did the end of the card. We did the mid card. Now there was 4 matches at the beginning of this fucking card. Were they any fucking good? So we'll go into match number 7 is what we'll call this now. Beginning of the card, and this was Ruby Riott versus Natalya. This was a tables match that I told you guys in my last video. This was a feud that's a feud. I use that loosely because it just was something, it was the farthest thing I wanted to see on my television set on a Monday night, or a Tuesday night, or any fucking night of the week. I did not need to see this. This just felt just not necessary, man. And then last Monday, they give the mic to Ruby Riott, and all of a sudden, something ignites in the Amplified, man. I actually give a fuck about this match now. Even if it was semi, I gave a fuck about it. And then they went out there last night at TLC, and they fucking went above and beyond any expectation that I had, man. Liv Morgan got sent to a table. That looked like a nasty bump. Liv Morgan went flying like a 747. From what I hear, she's okay, guys. There was some concern. Initial reports is she is okay. Sarah Logan got sent through a table as well, and this set up just a one-on-one bashing between Ruby and Natalya, and that's exactly what it was. And at the end, it was beautifully done. Ruby had her table where Jim the Anvil Neidhart, Natalya's father, was printed on that son of a bitch, plastered on it. But Natalya had her own table, specially made, with Ruby Riott's image plastered on it. And the finish came when Natalya was up on the turnbuckle and Ruby Riott went to send Natalya through the table. Almost like a Frankensteiner type deal. And instead, Natalya stopped that, blocked that shit with the quickness, hoists her up, holds her there, and you know it's going to be a vicious powerbomb through that fucking table. And that's exactly what it was. And she did it with her father's jacket on, too. Jim the Anvil Neidhart's jacket, man. So that was a really cool ending to this whole story and feud, man. That was the way it was supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I mean by ultimate payoff. All of the abuse that Natalya took over the last several weeks ends in the culmination of the epic payoff. And if it's done correctly, the face should be shining with the crowd standing on their feet in adulation. That's exactly what happened. It's not so often that everything goes right. You know what I mean? And even though this feud started off poorly, it ended on the high note. It ended the right way, man. That was really good to see. I give both ladies daps and props. Natalya and Ruby Riott put it all out there. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Ruby Riott, in my estimation, needed that victory a lot more. But, man, there's no way I can... Obviously, it ain't going in the ugly and bad, man. This is only going one place, and that is the good. So now we have a full tally straight through the other 4. 5 in the good, 1 ugly, which equals 2 bad. Thank you, Natalya and Ruby. Ruby did need that victory, I felt. But, again, how the fuck can you find fault in that match, man? And the epic payoff there was Natty. Even though Ruby needed that win more, that would not have told the story as beautifully as it was told. So, in the end, that's the only real outcome you could have went with, man. And Natty standing tall. Her father's glasses and jacket on, and what an ultimate culmination. So for everybody who didn't like the fact that she was using her father's, her father's passing away in the storyline, guys, it all has its place. I promise you, Jim the Anvil and any professional wrestler who knows this business and knows what it's about and the emotion that needs to be attached to it, they would be okay. They would have their blessing. So I am totally fine with this, and I knew if done correctly, this would be that type of outcome. Awesome job by Ruby Riott and Natalya, man. Every time Ruby Riott is on a pay-per-view, on the card, in a significant match of any, just in any capacity, she delivers. It's like Ronda Rousey. You put them in a big-time, big-fight feel match, they're going to deliver, and that's what I mean. Watch out for Ruby Riott. She's a dark horse in all of this. She may be pushed to the side, and we look at the Riott Squad as a bunch of losers and bums and jobbers, but no, Ruby's got more to her, I promise you. Where do you guys want to go? So let's stick in order from back to front then, right? We're in, what do we got? 5, 6, one match was not called. So the 8th match, again, from back to front, was the TLC Braun Strowman versus Baron Corbin match. Oh boy, where do we go with this one? You guys, I'm either going to trash this or I'm going to say I liked it, right? Well, this is going to fucking surprise you, maybe. This is going to definitely surprise you. But there's no way this doesn't go into the good column. BC, what the? Are you sure you weren't smoking what San Jose was smoking during that Ambrose and Rollins match you're asking? No, I ain't smoking nothing, guys. That was good to me. I love in a night where we already have so many matches, 10 fucking matches, there's so many stipulation matches and things to be crutched onto. There's epic wrestling matches still to come with Rollins and Ambrose and Styles and fucking Bryan, and you have that TLC match coming later in the night, so you don't want to give too much away in this TLC match. I was okay with just some fucking chaotic, fun, surprised shit. And that's what we got in this. It wasn't a real fucking match. This was Baron Corbin paying the debt that he was owed to him through weeks and weeks of fucking with all of the faces. I like this. It would have been much better off in a Monday Night Raw segment, but I still like it, man. You had who was it? Braun Strowman actually did come out, arm in a sling. He was obviously in no condition to actually compete. But he said because it's a TLC match, it's no disqualification. So just say somebody wants to help me beat you, that's legal in this match. And Corbin's like, yeah, but who are you going to get? And all of a sudden, Chad Gable and Bobby Roode show up with chairs. And then on the other side, you got Pop Collar Smiley Guy. Finn Balor's on the other side. On the other side, you have somebody else was out there, right, guys? Who the fuck? Oh, Apollo Crews was out there. He got a huge pop, right? No, not really. But anyway, Apollo was out there, right? Fuck it. Might as well invite him to the party. I'm surprised the Lucha Underground House Summer Party wasn't out there. But then again, they were getting they were the benefiters these last several weeks of Baron Corbin. They got to do Lucha Rules, so they weren't going to be out there. But all these faces came out, and Baron Corbin tried to escape because there's superstars on every side. So he tries to go up the ramp, and all of a sudden, Kurt Angle's music hits. So we get a surprise! A returning superstar! Some of you might be like, yeah, but BC, it was Kurt Angle. Hey, as an old school wrestling fan who loves when these part-timers show up for a time or two, I loved hearing Kurt Angle's music hit. I love seeing Kurt Angle back. I'm okay with one more Kurt Angle WrestleMania match. Despite what people think, he does have one more left in him, guys. And if given the time, dude, Kurt Angle will deliver, I promise you. You put him on that big stage. And it looks like they may do something cool with Kurt Angle and Baron Corbin. Do we want to see that WrestleMania? Who the fuck knows? If you give him 10 fucking minutes, I'm okay with it. But I love seeing Kurt Angle come down there because it told, just like Ruby Riott and Natalya, what I said in that match. Just like what I said with Rollins and Ambrose, Styles and Bryan, the women for SmackDown, Asuka, fucking Becky Lynch, Charlotte, just like I said with basically all of those matches, this, again, I can't call it a match, but this altercation was told beautifully. The story was told beautifully because at the pay-per-view, you got the final outcome. You got what's called the payoff. All of these weeks of Baron Corbin fucking with everybody got their receipt last night. Everybody got their payback, including where this whole thing started from the beginning 2 months ago with Kurt Angle getting told to go home. Baron Corbin is now his replacement. And it all ends with Angle coming back, flatlining Corbin. Strowman steps on Corbin. 1, 2, 3, Corbin is defeated and Braun Strowman wins this match. Braun Strowman will now go on to Royal Rumble. It is confirmed to take on Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. That is the storytelling you need. Weeks of the feud and story, and then you lead into a payoff. People are trashing Raw because Baron Corbin was doing all of this bullshit. I look at it as fucking awesome storytelling. I love when they took out Braun Strowman. I love when they took out Elias and when they took out fucking Finn Balor. In a way, the reason I did not like it was because I knew they weren't going to tell the story beautifully for the epic payoff. That's why I was not on board with it. That's why I had a lot of gripes when they jumped Elias and jumped Balor and jumped Strowman. I had a lot of issues with it for that reason, because I knew they weren't going to do this the right way. But now that they did it the right way, we can look back and say, fuck, that was told beautifully. It just sucks that WWE, we don't give them the benefit of the doubt anymore because they haven't earned it. But if we knew we could depend on WWE telling stories the correct way, I would have loved that even more, those beatings. So that's why, guys, that gets a good. Hopefully you understand more now. Sometimes you don't need a full throttle 15 to 20 fucking minute match. I know some people are disappointed because it was supposed to be a TLC match, but because you got that TLC match for the women, that kind of made that even more special. I didn't need to see somebody go through a table with Corbin and Strowman. I didn't need to see Corbin climb a ladder to make that altercation any more fun or better. That was entertaining. They brought back a surprise. They had some interesting storytelling there to end this feud off. I liked it, man, and Baron Corbin now loses all of his power. I expect Vince McMahon tonight, during his shakeup announcement, to probably call out Baron Corbin. Who takes his place? Do we find out tonight? Is it Kurt Angle? Is it somebody else? Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, who the fuck knows? Stone Cold through WrestleMania. Maybe Vince McMahon shook things up, and he got Stone Cold to come back and be the fucking GM. You never know, man, but I like it, guys. That gets a good. So now we have 6 in the good, 2 in the bad, and we go into the first 2 matches of this card. The second match from the card, I don't even know how to say this anymore. The 9th match from back to fucking front, how's that? Was the tag team match for the SmackDown Championships, tag championships. And this was the Usos and the New Day taking on champions The Bar. Triple threat tag match. How many times do I need to see the Usos in the New Day? This is why I don't like this shit. This could easily go into the bad guys. Because I'm just sick of seeing them in there. Yes, they deliver. BC, at least they put on good matches. Yes, of course, when you get 2 people that do magic together, or 4 or 10, then you can constantly put them in there and they'll put on the magic. But how many times do I need to see it? You know what I mean? There's certain movies that I love and I've seen 1,000 times. I understand that. But with pro wrestling, that's a little different. I don't need to see a wrestling match 1,000 times. Especially if you throw in The Bar, it doesn't do anything more of significance. As I said in my preview video yesterday, The Bar has been booked as clowns. Cesaro getting knocked out by cranberry sauce in the Thanksgiving feast match, and Sheamus wearing fucking mashed potatoes in that match. And then just this past Tuesday, they're dressed up as bootleg John Cena Thuganomics characters in the rap battle. I didn't need to see this fucking match. Thankfully, yes, of course it delivered. I thought it should have probably been even better, given the talent that was in the ring. But why this goes, guys, if I have to tally this bitch, because I can't have another non-tally match, because Mysterio and Orton already took care of that, I'm putting this into the good column, guys. And the only reason I'm doing that is because I have no reason to put it in the ugly and bad. The match did deliver. I thought it should have been better, but it at least delivered. But the real reason this got a good is because at the end of this match, Sheamus knocked Xavier Woods' block off his fucking body. His fucking head off his fucking dome piece. Xavier Woods was down and out. For saying that fans that critique WWE because they're passionate and they want to see change for the better, Xavier Woods called them entitled infants. Well, a lot of people stuck up in the community for themselves, and they said, no, we just want to see a better product. And Vince McMahon showing up tonight to shake things up, Seth Rollins last week addressing in a storyline all the concerns that we had, It's clear that now within your WWE bubble, you guys now know your show sucks. So in the end, we were right, Xavier. We knew we were all along, but you wanted to fucking just belittle and just poke at us. Well, in the end, your own boss showing up tonight has put you in your place. We were right and you were wrong. Xavier Woods eats the L here. He gets it by a fucking bro kick that again knocked his fucking head square off his shoulders. And Xavier eats that fucking loss. Love that shit. That goes into the good. Lay down as an entitled infant as you eat that L, bitch. Thank you, Cesaro and Sheamus. They keep their titles. I don't know what the fuck that does for them. I would have liked to have seen the Usos because right now, it seems to me, the Usos have the most momentum in the entire tag division. Not just SmackDown, Raw included. And the Usos are now just another afterthought. And the New Day will still pop up sporadically in some clown segment. I think it's time to split up the New Day. They're stale as fuck. They have ran their course. I'm sick of seeing them as a 100-time tag champion or always in these fucking matches because you don't have any other relevant tag teams. It's time to start making them. So, anyway, did I already put that? Yeah, I put that in the good only because Xavier ate the L and it was a decent fucking match. I'm being fucking generous here. The first match of the night on the main show was the mixed match challenge final. This was Carmella and R-Truth versus Jinder Mahal and Alicia Fox. I'm biased here, guys. You guys know I'm actually a Mahal fan. I know. I take a lot of flack for that. I understand. BC, what? Mahal sucks. Mahal's horrible. Worst champion. I get all of it. I understand. I like him. What are you going to do? Sometimes you like people that other people don't like. Right? I like Mahal. But on top of that, you guys know I love R-Truth and Carmella together. R-Truth is just phenomenal. And in Carmella, I love her with something about it. Dance break. I just love that shit. Watching a beautiful girl dance is always going to be entertaining. Carmella fucking dancing in her dance break is always going to be entertaining to me. So I love the dance break as well. So I have a lot of people in there that I actually like. And Alicia Fox, I actually don't hate. Even though I'm hard on her, guys, I actually don't hate Alicia Fox. If you guys watch this channel religiously from the beginning, I used to love Alicia Fox's crazy character. Then they gave up on her. I also feel Alicia Fox hasn't progressed a lot in the last 10 years she's been on the main roster. As a pro wrestler, I feel she should be so much better today. But aside from that, I actually don't mind Alicia Fox. So the bottom line here is there's a lot of people in this match that I actually like. On top of that, I was entertained. The match did not suck. And at the end, you had Carmella and R-Truth pick up the victory. And the mic job at the end of this was so entertaining. There was one of the interviews, and I don't know if it was Charlie Caruso, somebody was in there. Maybe it was Kayla, the newest one. But they asked, where are you going to go now that you won this all-expense-paid vacation to anywhere in the world? And Carmella's like, yeah, where are we going? Jamaica, Bahamas, where the fuck? And R-Truth is like, no, you got to think bigger than that. Tropical, epic. And he goes, we are going to Stamford, Connecticut, WWE headquarters. And he's serious as fuck. And Carmella's like, what the fuck? And R-Truth is dancing with Carmella, picks her up like they're getting married or some shit. Like they just won a vacation of a lifetime. And Carmella's like, what the fuck did I just get myself into? But eventually Carmella's like, it's truth, what are you gonna do? And they're celebrating. Guys, when we know we're gonna have good wrestling matches again, Rollins, Ambrose later in the night, Styles, Bryan, you know you're gonna get an epic TLC match with the females. You know you have a lot in store. That was a fun way to open the night. So a lot of people didn't like it. I'm not one of them. That goes into the good column. Dance break. I like this shit, man. That was the pay-per-view. I can't believe what I am witnessing right now because these cards, these boards never look like this after a WWE pay-per-view. If you're new to the channel, and I know I got a lot of new subscribers, several hundred in the last week, guys, the board never looks like this, I promise you. Especially from a hard-hitting, critiquing channel like mine. There's a lot of bads and uglies. In this pay-per-view, this board is showing me 8 goods, 1 ugly, 0 0 fucking bads. I gotta process this and digest this. Is that fucking what I'm really seeing? That's it, guys. I felt this was a good pay-per-view. I really did. There were some moments, obviously, where I was kind of like, eh. But as a whole, when you're looking at a 4-hour show, 10 fucking matches, this thing could have went off the rails from the beginning. 8 good, guys, and 1 ugly. And that ugly is, again, no fucking demon. You got Drew McIntyre looking like a fucking joke. In a redundant match as it is. Like, what was the point? I don't need to see that. Randy Orton and Rey Mysterio, what was the point? I didn't need to see that. So there was definitely some bumps in the road, but when you look at this thing overall, man, Styles and Daniel Bryan and putting on an old school wrestling classic, the women main eventing, which I had no problem with. I would have been also fine with Styles and Bryan as well. And then you look at the fun that they had with Baron Corbin, the fun that they had with Carmella and R-Truth, no harm, no foul, first match of the night, just setting a fun tone. Man, there was fucking good here, guys, a lot of it. And you guys, some people didn't like Ambrose and Rollins. I don't know what the fuck you were watching. Another old school classic, damn good wrestling match. That's it. This was an overwhelmingly good pay-per-view. That was good to see. Wow. Makes me feel a lot better about my initial thoughts, man, because I thought this was a really good pay-per-view. I didn't think it was that good. Again, I don't go over this board ahead of time. I go over it live in front of this camera with you guys. But I had a feeling this was going to be a dominantly good pay-per-view. I didn't know it was going to be that dominant. Fucking awesome, guys. So this TLC 2018 will go down as a damn good pay-per-view. What a way to end the year for WWE. I feel they had to end it on a high note. They ended it on a really high note. And tonight, Vince McMahon shows up. Is he just going to play character Vince McMahon and give us bullshit? Or is things actually going to be shooken up tonight? And if he does shake things up, is it going to be things that we give a fuck about? Is he going to shake up what really needs to be shooken up? Creative and booking, his suits and ties backstage, himself. That's what needs to be shooken up. And for the love of anything holy, bring back Pyro. Pyro at the beginning of your shows makes it fun for everybody. It makes people feel like it's a big-time event we're about to witness. The Amplified Man. I'm about to witness 2 Starbucks giant fucking lattes in both my hands. I'm gonna down those sons of bitches like fucking Stone Cold downs beers, and then I'm gonna go whoop New York City ass. Hopefully wherever you guys are in the world, you do the same. Minus the fucking coffees if need be, or at least switch to decaf. That's fine if that's you. I'm gonna ask for the fucking extra caffeinated motherfuckers. But hopefully you guys kick ass today, and we will all reconvene for Monday Night Raw tonight, and of course I'll see you tomorrow for Monday Night Raw's review and reaction. For now, the Amplified Man, holla at ya boy, cause he's out. Check you.